What does it mean to be a hero? To Shirou, Emiya, and Izuku Midoriya, it means sacrificing yourself to save others no matter the situation. Both inspired by people who save others with a smile on their face, they swore to become heroes just like them. And while on the surface, it does sound like the most noble title and cause, but when perceived the way they see it, it can do more harm than good. Deku learns this lesson, and Shirou doesn't. So what went wrong for Shirou? Today, we're going to be exploring the parallel between these two characters. For those of you who haven't seen any of the series, I'll be giving context when needed. So with that spoiler warning in place, let's get into it. So in order to recap their stories quickly, I'm going to be using the monomyth. Now the monomyth is a universal framework popularized by Joseph Campbell, and is basically just a 17-step process that every hero in any work of writing goes through. However, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using the more modern simplified version called the hero's journey. Keep in mind, I'm not saying that they parallel each other because they go through these steps, because this is just universal for every hero. I'm using this as a guideline to simplify their stories and get to the meat and potatoes of what I want to say. You'll see what I mean as I go on. But anyways, the first two steps of the hero's journey are the ordinary world and the call to adventure. The ordinary world is just taking a step into their world and seeing what their ordinary life is like. In a world of hidden mages, Shirou is just your everyday student who was adopted by a mage after a great fire killed his parents. Now, he lives alone after his adopted father passed away. He does not have any advanced or even intermediate magical abilities and just kinda lives life. He also feels a big sense of survivor's guilt from that fire, causing him to not value his life. Deku is a bit similar in the matter that he's a middle schooler and he's about to grad to go to high school soon. And in a world where 80% of the population have superpowers called quirks, he's quirkless. He feels that all people are not created equally and that he's worth less than people who have quirks. Moving on is their call to adventure. This is just something disturbing the hero's peace. Shirou gets his call to adventure when the Holy Grail War starts and he gets dragged into it by being attacked by Lancer. He accidentally summons Saber and ends up in the church with Kirei and Tosuka. Kirei basically explains all the rules to him and tells him he could either commit to the Grail War or use all of his command seals and just opt out. With Tosuka as his ally, he decides to move on and commit to it. He goes through different tests like Medusa, Caster, and all that. But where I really want to focus on is ordeal. The ordeal is where the hero faces their biggest test yet. And I feel like that biggest test for Shirou was getting his ideals challenged by Archer. Now you may be asking, what are Shirou's ideals? Shirou's ideology is what it means to be a hero of justice. It's a selfless ideal where those who hold the concept of being a hero of justice will fight for the notions of benevolence, justice, loyalty, and love in which they believe. Now you may be asking again, what is so wrong with this ideal? Why is it being challenged? And that's because Archer is just Shirou from the future if he continues to stay down that path. Never taking time for himself or taking care of himself and always sacrificing himself for others. Let Shirou, or should I say Archer, go down this path where he feels nothing but regret. So now he feels the need to kill Shirou in order to quote unquote redeem himself. Anyways, while he's fighting Archer and getting his ideals challenged, he knows that no matter what, even if it's not his wish, he's gonna protect it and he's gonna achieve it. Even if everyone in the world disagrees with him, and even if himself is telling himself, that sounds wrong. And even if himself in the future is telling him that it's gonna lead to ruin, he's gonna do it no matter what. Because a world where everyone is happy is a world he's gonna achieve. He knows his dream isn't a mistake. He refuses to let go of it, not to alter or to stop. It's an ideal everyone thinks of and one he needs to carry out. He finishes off Archer knowing he might go down the same path. Both of them will never realize that Shirou's selflessness wasn't the flaw. But before I say what his actual flaw was, I'm gonna catch up on Deku's story real quick so we can compare. Deku sees his friend Bakugo in trouble by some sludge monster and attempts to save him. All Might ends up saving both of them and finds Deku in the street later. He tells young Midoriya that he can give him the opportunity to become a hero. Despite being excited by this offer, Deku starts to hesitate and doubt himself. He ends up accepting the offer, and so his path of becoming the world's greatest hero starts. He has to work his way up to being able to compete with his peers through hardships like real villain attacks, festivals, and taming his powers. Now, stopping here, if I had to pick one thing that hindered both Deku and Shirou up to this point, it would be how selfless they are. Shirou has taken so many hits to his body for Saber and his allies when they're always a million times stronger than him and don't even need it. Deku's constantly broke his body over and over again despite all the warnings just to save people or prove points. And this is exactly what Archer was trying to warn Shirou about. All he wanted Shirou to know is that this constant selflessness was going to lead to eternal torment and regret. He didn't want Shirou to go down the same path as him. However, Shirou being Shirou, he continued down this path. He never considered that his allies are allies for a reason, or that he doesn't have to do it alone. Deku, on the other hand, they showed him that whatever he can do, they can do, and Deku learned to value his allies. Shirou thought that being a hero of justice meant that he had to do everything alone. He felt like the Grail War was never a job for his literal servant Saber. All he ever did was damage himself and continue to do it until he regretted it. Deku, however, made it past his ordeal because he learned that just because he's a hero, he can't do everything alone. He found that having allies who are ready and willing to carry any burden with you are going to carry you farther than anything else. Shirou never thought of himself, and it's not as noble as he thinks it is. It's fake, just like Archer calls it out to be. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. It's just a short little video. I was gonna make it longer, but it's low-key not my style, and I kind of want to dive into other video ideas. Let me know if you like this type of content in the comments below. Any feedback would be great. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.